And just going through the formalities, it looks as though the two sets of players are going to play the way that they're facing at the moment, Sunderland left to right. And that means that they will be attacking the end of the ground with their supporters in the second half and kicking towards that empty Kop in the first half. If you're just joining us, these are the teams. Wednesday, Dawson in goal, Iorfa, Hennigan and James, Palmer, Byers, Parkinson, and then Aaron and Brown, and then Gregory and Patterson up front. Sunderland, Bass in goal, Winchester, Wright and Elise, Hume, O'Nine, Matete and Sona, and then Embleton behind Roberts and Diamond, although it's a very fluid Sunderland formation and anybody could end up anywhere pretty much over the next 90 minutes. This is one of 6 ties taking place in the EFL Cup tonight, and we'll keep you up to date with all of them, all the goal news as it happens right here on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, over on TalkSport, Adrian Durham down in Plymouth, around the grounds, the details of the goals as they go in over on TalkSport as we bring you a choice of listening again. But we're underway in this League Cup tie. Long ball punted forward by Bailey Wright towards the edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Half cleared, but brought down by Hume, who's started on the right-hand side, the young Northern Ireland international who made his debut for his country back in March. And he's victim there of a very strong challenge. Both players trying to make sure that they got their second, and the free kick has been given Brown's way for Sheffield Wednesday right in front of us. Glorious evening, enhanced by the company of Neil Redfern alongside him.
Cheers, Jim. Yeah, I just think that Sunderland have made their intent known. Right from the kick-off, they put the ball right in behind Sheffield Wednesday. They've tried to press them, got right up the pitch, both sides playing with a back three. It's going to be interesting to see how that gives. Lots of talent on show. We're looking at young Diamond up top. If he can get his foot on the ball and makes things happen for Sunderland, could be an interesting night.
Ball goes through for Alex Bass. First touch of the ball for him as a Sunderland player, as a youngster when Salisbury were reformed. He was the first goalkeeper for the club down in the 9th tier, and finds himself now playing for a 2nd tier side. Some career that he's had. Ball out towards the right-hand side for Hume. Hume laying it back through the midfield. Early chance for Sunderland to get Roberts on the ball. Scored a stoppage-time goal away to our left-hand side in the closing moments of the playoff semi-final second leg when we seemed destined for penalties. It was a goal that took Sunderland to Wembley, and then from there to promotion. Embleton dropping deeper, just able to play the ball down the left-hand side for Diamond, and challenge comes in on him, and it's gone out of play. No foul, and the last touch off Diamond will give Sheffield Wednesday a throw over on the far touchline. A couple of minutes gone here on TalkSport 2, and it's Wednesday 0, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, I mean, as expected, I think both sides have sort of cancelled one another out in midfield. 5v5 in there, if you like. Both playing with wing backs, both playing with 3 in there centrally. It's going to be who can switch the ball, who can switch play, and who can isolate the back 3 of each team that are going to get the foot in the game, I would have thought.
Sunderland in possession again, just to turn it forward. It was a touch from Elise that wasn't too convincing, got his angles wrong. Elise playing on the left of 3 centre-halves, leaving West Ham United, who've been struggling in that position. Elise, had he not left West Ham, might have been in the starting lineup for them against Manchester City at the weekend, but as it is, he's making his first start for his new club tonight here at Hillsborough. Wednesday in possession. Hannigan, another one of the summer signings. He arrived from Wimbledon, punted 4 down the inside left channel. Patterson's done well, he's been able to flick it forward. Brown is in there, so too Gregory. Pulled back towards the edge of the penalty area, but mopped up well by Sunderland's Matete. Haven't been able to get it out particularly effectively though, and Wednesday win it back and have a throw about 10 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Good play down the Wednesday left there.
Yeah, it's a great ball by Reece James. Just feels it down the channel, which is always a place where teams are vulnerable with a 3 at the back, and Patterson's onto it. We know he's good at running in behind and gets onto that really quickly. Held it up well, and it's a good effort.
There's a free kick to Sunderland now after the challenge on the edge of the penalty area, which Bass will come out to take. Action tonight at Blackburn. at home to Hartlepool, Coventry taking on Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Barnsley, Plymouth, Peterborough and Rotherham are at Port Vale. Those the 6 EFL Cup ties tonight. Coventry Bristol City game actually taking place at Burton rather than in Coventry because the pitch is deemed dangerous. Wednesday in possession, just outside their own penalty area. Iorfa getting the ball, turning it back for Dawson. Big night for him as well. He did well winning promotion last season from League 2 out on loan at Exeter, but it's his first opportunity to shine in a Wednesday shirt since back in 2020, and they're hoping to make the most of it. Matete in possession, lays it back for Winchester. Has started on the right of 3 centre-halves for Sunderland, and now here's Bailey Wright. Wright will take it on a touch towards the edge of the centre circle, and then slip it to his left-hand side for Aji Elise. Turning neatly in the midfield here is Embleton. Embleton working it forward. Diamond try to get involved, but Wednesday with enough bodies back are going to be able to bring it away. But then give it away almost instantly until it is won back, and the referee has found in Wednesday's favour. They've got a free kick about 15 yards inside their own half. 0-0. Neither goalkeepers had any opportunity to impress in the opening 5 minutes, Neil Redfern.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Sunderland's setups, exactly like you said, Jim, you know, they've almost played with 2 10s just in behind Jack Diamond, who's looked quite lively early on, quite light, you know, so they're going to have to try and get it into his feet, work the ball into him. There's no point knocking it up in the air to him because he's going to lose that challenge. But when they do break, they get numbers forward really quickly, Sunderland. They connect passes really well. It's difficult for Sheffield Wednesday to get a press on, and you know, they're playing with confidence. You can see that.
Elise over on that Sunderland left. It is confidence that's born of a run of 18 unbeaten. They've only lost once in 20 since Alex Neil took charge. That was against MK Dons back on February the 19th, so nearly 6 months since they last lost the game, Sunderland. And it's been built, that run, around a very solid defensive record. They kept clean sheets in more than half their games over the last 4 months or so. Might not keep a clean sheet in this one though. Ball inside the penalty area. Bass has done well. He was able to gather at the second attempt. He's off his line quickly to cut out the first cross that came in, and then could smother the ball and save before any of the Wednesday players could get involved. The first chance that Wednesday had to break in behind Elise on that left-hand side. Yeah, it's a good break, to be fair, and it's not a bad ball across the 6-yard box, but he does well, Bass. Makes the decision to come early, he's confident, and although he don't catch it first time, he's on the rebound. Byers plays it forward. Patterson and Gregory just unable to link up the 2 up top for Sheffield Wednesday. Patterson had dropped off to meet the ball and headed it down, but not into Gregory's path, in behind him. And that's allowed Sunderland the opportunity to get a 9 on the ball in the midfield. Now Roberts, wearing 10 this season, a new number for him, bringing it through the centre circle, away from one challenge. He'll try and beat kind of Adeniran as well. And Roberts has lost out and just caught Adeniran. It was the only invitation that he needed, really, to make sure the referee realised that contact had been made. And he goes to the ground, winning a free kick, which Wednesday will take just outside their own box. A little bit stop-start in the opening exchanges of this game. Still in terms of goals elsewhere, nothing of any note. 0-0 in all 6 ties taking place this evening so far in the EFL Cup. Wednesday with the ball inside their own penalty area, away to our right-hand side with Cam Dawson. Dawson taking a touch and then whacking it forward upfield. Patterson is very good in the air, very adept at being able to bring other players into it, but even he stood no chance of being able to get on the end of that over-hit ball, which drifts through to Alex Bass away to our left-hand side. Sunderland will quickly try and play out from the back, though 9 working into the feet of Roberts. Now to be played for by Elise, who is a good footballing centre-half, more than happy to come forward in possession. Adeniran's won it back. Byers, Patterson given the instruction to turn, and he will break into Sunderland territory where he goes to ground but wasn't fouled, and play will continue. Yeah, I just wondered, Jim, that looked like a foul to me, to be honest with you, on Patterson. Did ever so well to regain it. The referee's having to bring play back now so he can get treatment, but I just look this season in general, I think referees have been a little bit more lenient. I don't know if that's a directive from the powers that be, but even in this game tonight there's been 2 or 3 challenges that have been perhaps borderline. No malice, but
perhaps would have been a free kick on another day.
And is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think people want to see them, them challenges go in, and so long as it's done in good faith and in the name of the sport, then there's no problem with it. But it's been a real apparent to me, that referees are letting things go, and they're not standing for any people diving, or it's important.
Well, the fact that a little bit of treatment was needed has just given everybody the opportunity to get some fluid on board. Talked about the searing heat here. That's no exaggeration. I'm very glad to be here and not out there, Neil, playing, because it must be. I mean, you'd be delighted if you're one of the fringe members of the squad to get the opportunity, but you'd be hoping the game kicked off at 1:30 in the morning, so it'll be a little bit cooler. Yeah,
and it's not really a nice heat now. It's quite oppressive. We're into early evening, sun's starting to set, but it's still really humid. It's a tough ask for the players.
Producer Declan McCarthy tells me at the moment it is 28. Feels it as well. Answer. Ball forward as we restart from Elise, and that's been overhit. There have been a few of those from both sides so far. And it goes through to Cam Dawson away to our right, and Wednesday will very quickly play out from the back. Hennigan put under pressure. The press from Sunderland. Hennigan eventually was able to get it forward and find a teammate. Brown continues his way forward up the left-hand side, and then was blocked off there cynically by Carl Winchester. And he'll be the first player to be spoken to by Tom Reeves tonight, and he's going to have his name taken. Be a yellow card here for Carl Winchester of Sunderland.
Yeah, I think he's a little unfortunate, to be honest with you. I think it's a great play by Jaden Brown. He's just too quick, and he's committed to the challenge, so he gets the yellow card for it. But just going back to the wing-back, Jaden Brown, he's looked quite lively in these opening exchanges. He'll be impressing his manager. And these are the type of games where you can do that as a young player or a fringe player, if you like, that's trying to get in the first 11.
Yeah, he's another that's desperate for the opportunity to impress, because he hasn't played since Alex Neil took over. A player that was on the books of Tottenham, but his last game came under Lee Johnson back in January. Ollie Rathbone scored the first goal of the night, Rotherham leading at Port Vale by a goal to nil, and Bristol City are a goal up at Coventry. Byers taking the free kick for Wednesday, swung inside the area, the flag's up though on the far side. The high ball was played forward, it was attacked I think by Hennigan, but the centre half in his yellow boots just made that run a little bit too early, and they're pulling the ball back across. He's interfering with play, offside, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Alex Baston Sunderland. It's 0-0 with 11 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. Here's Neil Redfern.
Yeah, just from that free kick, Jim, I just got, that's criminal to get caught offside from a free kick. It's a good angle on it, you just got to time your run. It's a good climb to head the ball back, but you've got to stay on side. That's an opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday.
It was Carl Naismith that scored that goal for Bristol City at the Pirelli Stadium tonight, away, in inverted commas, to Coventry. Coventry 0, Bristol City 1, Port Vale 0, Rotherham 1. Still goalless at Blackburn, at Middlesbrough and Plymouth, and here at Hillsborough as well. Bailey Wright, I beg your pardon, in possession. Wright playing it down to his right-hand side for Winchester. Winchester wearing 15 in his white boots. Back for Bailey Wright again. Now Embleton, who's been promoted from League One to the Championship in each of the last couple of seasons via the playoff final with Blackpool and with Sunderland, of course, last season as well. Trey Hume has it now. Hume taking on Brown, and Brown just had his hands on the shoulder of the Northern Ireland international and gave him a little shove. Hume winning the latest instalment of that, one of the more intriguing battles on the field, and it's a free kick to Sunderland here, about 4 yards from the dead ball line, and 6 or 7 in from the right-hand touchline. This is a really good set-piece opportunity for Sunderland here.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a corner, if you like. It's really interesting tonight. You're going to have real 1v1 battles in wing-back positions, because both sides are playing the same shape. Hume taking the fight to Jaden Brown, who's impressed so far, but it's going to be interesting in those key areas.
What can Sunderland do with this? 2 in the wall. Embleton might be the favourite here with a right-footed away swinging delivery. There are 5 in red and white striped shirts inside that penalty area waiting to attack this. It's swung in with real pace towards the far post. At least trying at the far post to do something to keep it alive. It was clear, but not very effectively. Matete gets it back for Sunderland. And now a chance for Embleton, slipping it with too much pace down the right-hand side of the area. And Diamond had no chance of being able to keep that in. It's out of play for a goal kick that Wednesday will take. A half-decent set-piece wasted as far as the Black Cats are concerned.
Yeah, would have got an attacking player 1v1 at the far post, and he just got eased off it. It's good defending in the end. Just going back to Embleton, he's impressed so far in midfield. He's little and busy and bright. He gets on things, makes things happen. And he plays that role quite well, just alongside Diamond. The other side, Patrick Roberts. It's a good balance, a good blend. They do the defensive stuff as well. They've made the running so far. Just looking at the possession stats, 60%. Sunderland, they're making a good fist of this, Jim.
They're in possession again, just outside their own penalty area. And it's a long ball with plenty of elevation from right to Winchester. Now, because of the loft on it, that just gave an opportunity for Backinson to come and put that little bit of pressure on, but Winchester was able to get rid of the ball quickly enough, find a teammate. Sunderland in no time in Sheffield Wednesday territory. Embleton dropping the ball off at the feet of Matete, back for Carl Winchester again. Winchester's got Hume holding station on the right-hand side. I think he was hoping that somebody was going to make a run and try and get in between the Wednesday defenders, and possession was turned over, and the Owls can get it forward very quickly with Palmer. Right-footed ball in from him. Winchester back to cover with a good header on the edge of the 6-yard box, but Liam Palmer with a nice take will be able to get it in again. Better ball, second time of asking. Looking for Gregory, couldn't find him, but on the edge of the area he can find out an error. Oh, what a goal! That's a stunner! 25 yards out, he's dropped his shoulder, works it onto the left foot, and he has driven it in past Alex Bass. It's a really good goal, and Sheffield Wednesday, slightly against the run of play, strike first to lead Sunderland by a goal to nil, and that will be one of the best goals we see in the League Cup all season.
Well, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, Jim. It's a superb strike from Dennis had in there and picks it up. He's under pressure initially when he receives it. He goes to fake to shoot, drags it back, and then strikes it sweet as a nut with his left foot, fully 30 yards out. Gave Alex Bass absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Great strike.
Well, he scored on his Fulham debut in the first round of the League Cup as a 17-year-old. He hasn't scored too many since then. But in this, his first appearance for Sheffield Wednesday for 7 months, he's really made an early impact. A 16th minute goal, one he'll never forget. He's 23 now, he could play till he's 43. He might not score a better one. It really was a good goal. And clearly the adrenaline coursing through his veins. He's done well to win possession back here, and he's taking it on with his long-ranging stride. He's beaten Embleton, who slid in and did well. Falls down near and wide, but he's still been able to get back to his feet, the Sheffield Wednesday goal scorer, and win a throw. And he's caught the eye in the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Athleticism, and a turn of pace, almost Carlton Palmer-esque, where he drove forward from the halfway line, really. He took the ball right to the edge of the box.
Here he is again, on the right-hand side of the penalty area. That time he can't find a teammate, but he recycles it, lays it out to the Wednesday right. Byers trying to slip in a little reverse ball, couldn't get that right, and Sunderland are going to be able to bring it away. And Byers slides in, but he's just caught his man. Free kick has gone to Roberts. You talk about Carlton Palmer, Neil. There's a big picture, a great picture downstairs by the press room here at Hillsborough of the last Sheffield Wednesday side to win the League Cup. It was back in 1991. Carlton Palmer in that team. We were looking at the picture earlier. It's amazing seeing the faces and the likes of Trevor Francis in there and people like that as well. Only seems like yesterday, and more than 30 years since Sheffield Wednesday last won this competition. They came close to winning it a couple of seasons after that, when they got to both domestic cup finals that year and lost them both to Arsenal. Well, they haven't been back in the final since then, but what a player Carlton was.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic midfield player. International, and I think then sometimes that success that Wednesday had is just weighing a little heavy. They're a big side, they're a big club, and they need to get back into the top division if they can.
Now, Backinson's won possession back well, and he's just trying to chip it down to the left-hand side for Brown. Brown, similarly, showing great desire, has been able to get in between Hume and the ball to win it. The ball isn't moving. Hume and Brown both jockeying for position. Now he's done well, got to the byline, wraps his left foot around it, comes around to Nearan. Crowd wanted him to shoot. He was never going to be able to repeat it, and he didn't try. He's tried to play in Palmer down the right, Wednesday making good ground. The goals really settled them because Sunderland arguably the better side when it was 0-0, but Wednesday have had it all since they took the lead.
Yeah, the goal has been like a shot in the arm, Jim, to be honest with you. They're under pressure now, they're under the cosh, Sunderland, finding it difficult. You know, they actually look quite a small side compared to Sheffield Wednesday, and all the physical challenges and battles Wednesday coming out on top of.
Had a very good home record here last season in League One. Oxford and Rotherham both won here, but nobody else did. Wednesday win a corner over on the right hand side of the penalty area with a ball that's driven in and hits the nearest Sunderland player, Luke O'Nien. They're just struggling to deal with Adenir and Backinson in the midfield so far. This corner, the first of the game, that will be taken over on the Sheffield Wednesday right. It's the cue for Hennigan to make his way forward into the Sunderland penalty area. Bailey Wright has got his arm around him, just trying to keep an eye on Hennigan, who is, I mean, Wright is tall, but Hennigan's probably 2-3 inches taller. It's worked into the feet of Byers. It's back for Gregory, really well worked. He didn't quite get hold of it. It was scuffed, and O'Nien could clear it. Good set piece, though. Then he comes back in, next phase of play, and at the far post, Hennigan heads it wide.
Two real bits of quality there. First, the set play, straight off the training ground, rolled in towards the near post, good timed run, flicked backwards towards the penalty spot. Patterson came in, and the shot's well defended, actually. It's blocked, but a great routine, and then a fantastic diagonal crossing, when really I think he's got to do a little bit better there, Hennigan. I think he's in a good position, he's coming onto it, he's a good header of the ball, and he puts his chance wide.
Sheffield Wednesday's lead remains just the one. Bristol City have scored a second, though, at Coventry, or at Burton against Coventry, with Tommy Conway adding to the goal from Cal Naismith. 2 in 5 minutes for the Robins. Good start for them. Sunderland getting the ball forward again. It'll break inside the penalty area. The shot comes in and it's blocked. It was well worth an attempt from Harrison Sona, but cleared. Brought down then at the back by Winchester, as Sheffield Wednesday were able to get it about 30 yards upfield. And Bailey Wright brings it under control to find Elise. But first time we've really seen Harrison Sona coming in on that left-hand side, getting himself into a shooting position. An effort that was well blocked by the Wednesday back line. Now they release Diamond down the inside left channel. He's inside the penalty area, pulling it back, and didn't really have too much to aim at, so I'll be more than happy that it's been cleared by a Wednesday defender for Sunderland's first corner.
Yeah, it's a fantastic channel run by Diamond. He's looked lively these early exchanges. He wants to run in behind. Quite high as well, Sheffield Wednesday as a back line. And like you say, Jim, he's looking up there. There's no red and white shirt in the middle coming on for him to play the ball into.
So Sunderland looking for an equaliser here from this, their first corner that they've worked short. Left-footed ball swung in eventually, was cleared by the blonde-haired George Byers. Out for Winchester. Winchester now to Matete. Matete rolling it inside the penalty area. Diamond across the face of goal and only narrowly wide. They just couldn't quite find Roberts at the far post or that far post itself, but that's probably Sunderland's best moment.
Well, that's a fantastic bit of play by Diamond. He's looked really lively. He's doing himself no harm at all tonight. He looks busy, he looks bright, he's running in behind, he's a threat. That's a great ball right across the 6-yard box, and it's crying to be just tapped in at the far post. No red and white shirt in sight.
What's his level, do you think? That actually sounds a really patronising question to suggest that it's not Sunderland. I don't mean it like that. It may well be Sunderland or higher over the fullness of time, but at the moment, would you put him at what level? Well,
I look at him. I mean, the only thing I would say is he's quite slight in his build. You know, to play as a lone striker, you've got to be some player. If you're that fragile, if you like. But he's quick and the movement's good, and to be fair to his Sunderland teammates, they look for him. So I think probably this level's his level at this moment in time. I think he's done his time at Harrogate. I think he's better than that level now. So any potential loan he's looking in to bring him in, it's a good stage to sell himself from, and he's playing well.
Yeah, certainly. If you're a League One manager, you'd be really impressed with him so far, wouldn't you? He's actually given a free kick away here as he tried to hold the ball up with Hennigan coming in from behind him. Wednesday have the free kick, which they've taken, and Iorfa will work it back for Hennigan again on the edge of the centre circle. He slips it down to the left for James, making his Wednesday debut against one of his old clubs, and then Backinson draws a round of applause, a little nutmeg there of Diamond, and sweeps it out towards the right-hand side for Palmer. Good approach play again here from Sheffield Wednesday. The goal scorer, Dennis Adeniran, in possession, down towards the corner flag, wins a throw.
Good play by Wednesday. This is as comfortable in possession. I know it's a Carabao Cup game and perhaps not as high profile, if you like, but I've seen Wednesday quite a few occasions and I've not seen them pass it as well as this. You know, they're comfortable in possession, they're very athletic going forward, they know where the ball's going to go, you know, the runs are being timed well, and they look a threat. They really look a threat.
Black Hats get it away on this occasion down the left-hand side. Diamond will chase everything. He's really winning. I mean, we've been talking about him a lot, but he's caught the eye. Wednesday with Brown, goes back for Hennigan. Hennigan getting it onto his right foot. He's angled it over the top. Gregory knew he was offside and couldn't make a run for that, and it's beaten everybody and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sunderland right-hand side. Just looking at the statistics at the moment, certainly plenty of passes as far as Sunderland are concerned, almost 50% more than Sheffield Wednesday, but the longer the game's gone on, the better Wednesday have looked, and they've got it again with Byers, working it out towards Palmer. Right-footed ball swung in from him, and he had three attacking it, but out came Alex Bass. It's a good pair of hands to take it off the head of Lee Gregory.
Yeah, that's great goalkeeping from Alex Bass. I mean, it's not a bad ball in, to be fair, from Palmer, but his timing's fantastic. He comes and takes it at his highest point. You know, and as a centre-back for Sunderland, it's such a relief when your goalkeeper comes and gets you out, you know, of a situation. It's a great take.
We've got more live football coming up over the course of the week. Let me signpost the fact that next Wednesday, Sunderland are back in Sheffield again at Sheffield United, and we'll have that one live for you from the south of the city at Bramall Lane on TalkSport 2 next Wednesday. But a lot of football coming up between now and then. Friday night on the home of the EFL, TalkSport 2, Watford against Burnley. And Watford captain Tom Cleverley is on the TalkSport breakfast tomorrow. Big TalkSport breakfast being served up for you with Alan Brazil, Annie McCoist and Gabby Agbonlahor, all starting at 6. And Tom Cleverley, the Watford captain, on at 9. Now Sheffield Wednesday will make their way forward here, leading by a goal to nil. Patterson, with the greying hair, makes his way forward into the penalty area. That looked as though it may well have been a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday, but nothing was given. Liam Palmer is on his knees and he's asking the question exactly what part of Sona's challenge was a legitimate one. But the assistant referee has just waved play on, and Tom Reeves, the official, concurs. Hume has it on this near side of the pitch to Sunderland right, and he has won a free kick, much to the fury of Brown. Free kick to Sunderland, just a couple of yards inside the Wednesday half, and the normally implacable Darren Moore stands, hands outstretched on the edge of his technical area. Not a man that you would mess with.
No, I played with big Darren Moore at Bradford City, and if he says it's Thursday, mate, it's Thursday.
He was that side when he was coming through the ranks at my club Torquay when he was 16. He was enormous and the gentlest giant that you could wish to meet. He's had a wonderful career as a player. Represented Jamaica as well as playing in the Premier League for a number of clubs, including his boyhood heroes West Brom, and is forging a very good career in management as well now. Well, we're having a drinks break because of the temperatures and the fact that there's another player down, injured. Wednesday had a man just requiring treatment over on the far side. So 25 minutes in, Wednesday leading Sunderland by a goal. Now, would you sum up what you've seen over the first quarter of the game or so, Neil?
Yeah, a little harsh on Sunderland. I think they've played some nice stuff. I do think they look a little bit lightweight as a team. You know, obviously some of these are fringe players, if you like. Some of these are players that have been on the bench. There's not many starters in there. I think Wednesday look far more as if they're going to go and score, as if they're going to go and create. Look very dangerous on the break, very athletic from midfield. You know, Adrian and Backinson carrying the ball really well. It's a problem for Sunderland, but I think it's been a good contest. You know, we've got two different styles. You know, you've got two teams that are playing the same shape, if you like, but two different styles of football. One's trying to pass, one's a little bit more direct. I think it's a really interesting watch.
Tommy Conway scored his second and Bristol City's third. They're 3 up away to Coventry. and Peterborough have broken the deadlock at Plymouth. Plymouth 0, Peterborough 1. And it's Ricky J. Jones, the local lad, that has scored the goal for Peterborough. Plymouth 0, Peterborough 1. Still goalless at Blackburn, at home to Hartlepool. Middlesbrough at home to Barnsley. Rotherham a goal up at Port Vale. And Sheffield Wednesday leading Sunderland here by a goal to 0. Everyone's had their drinks and the treatment as necessary, and we're back underway. Sunderland taking a free kick on halfway with Winchester finding Matete. And Blackburn actually have just broken the deadlock in that match at Ewood Park at home to Hartlepool. They lead 1-0. Matete, a former Fleetwood man, I'm not too sure whether to go left or right, and then Gregory nipped him, won the ball off him, and then threw himself to the ground. The old pro's trick, grabbed the ball with both hands and forced the referee to make the decision your way. It was a foul, and the whistle blew. Free kick taken quickly by Sheffield Wednesday's Brown, who works it back to Reece James. And out for Iorfa. Iorfa out to the other side here for Wednesday to bring it forward with Byers. Byers has got Palmer outside him, but worked it back through the midfield instead towards Backinson, played in towards Gregory. Good challenge from Winchester. Danger not cleared. It's Brown, and very well blocked by Hume. It goes out of play for a Wednesday throw. Yeah, another good break by Sheffield Wednesday, and I just feel that Wednesday are a little bit stronger physically. You know, that's a couple of times now they brought past Sunderland's midfield and they're attacking around the edge of the box. It's a good block in the end, to be fair, to stop the goal-bound shot, but they look far more menacing Sheffield Wednesday. Scott Wharton it was that got that goal for Blackburn at home to Hartlepool. Dennis Adeniran with the goal here, and an absolute beauty. That was on 16 minutes. We played a further 15, and it remains 1-0. But Wednesday, certainly the better side since they took the lead. There's so much more of the game concentrated away to our left in the half that Sheffield Wednesday are attacking. Sunderland will bring it out from the back with Bailey Wright. Wright's 10 yards outside the penalty area and slips it down towards Winchester. Winchester to Matete, who has got plenty of time to turn. He's laid it off to his left-hand side for Luke O'Nien. Now Elliot Embleton will bring it forward. And he's very quickly in Sheffield Wednesday territory. Lays it back though for O'Nien, and the former Wycombe man through towards Matete. Matete has to play it first time because of the pressure of Gregory coming in from behind him. Winchester now has possession for Sunderland. Bit of movement ahead of him, but he's checked back. Hume in towards Roberts. Roberts is drawing a couple of challenges, good quick feet from him, but it ended up ricocheting off his shins and going out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday left. A bit of breaking news, Southampton winger Nathan Teller is joining Burnley on loan. TalkSport 2 understands that Burnley transfer window's been very impressive, quite wholesale change. They brought some good players in. Teller, very pacey and highly regarded. Burnley beating a host of championship rivals to snap up the former Arsenal youngster, and he could be set for his debut Friday night away at Watford live on TalkSport 2, where Hamza Chowdhury could be making his debut for Watford. He's another player on the move today, signed for Watford on loan from Leicester City. So Teller on loan from Southampton to Burnley. There's going to be a whole host of transfers, hundreds of them between now and the window shutting on September the 1st. It feels as though not much business has been done, and a few clubs are behind the curve at the moment. Yeah, and I think what happens sometimes, Jim, is, you know, as soon as one move happens or as soon as something, you know, takes the plunge, it's almost like a knock-on effect, you know, and moves start to happen. But be interested to see what unfolds, because you get the start of the season, some clubs struggling, some clubs thriving. You know, and all they've got different circumstances to bring people in. Here's Carl Winchester for Sunderland. Both of these teams heavily involved in the transfer market, but particularly Sheffield Wednesday, who have signed a stack of players since their frustrating end to last season, many of whom don't play today. The likes of Michael Ihikwe, Will Volks, who signed in the summer. They both started so far for Wednesday. Michael Smith, another player signed from Rotherham, just down the road from here in the summer, is still waiting for his full debut for his new club. Bailey Wright's got it for Sunderland. Into the feet of Embleton. Elise was making his first start for Sunderland tonight. Now Embleton has it again. 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday leading here in the first round League Cup tie, live on TalkSport 2. Hume will bring it forward. He's got a bit of space to attack Brown this time. A very deep ball, too deep as it turns out for Harrison Sona, who did everything he could to cover the ground, and then watched the ball sail over his head and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Wednesday right. 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I just think that moment there was just typical of Sunderland's luck, or Sunderland's bad luck, if you like. It's a great position, but the quality's just not there, and I think that's hampered Sunderland. You know, from tee to green, they look fantastic. They pass the ball well, they get bodies forward, they get in good positions, and then it's that final cross pass, touch, shot. It's just avoiding them at the moment.
Those are the thoughts of Neil Redfern, veteran of more than 900 senior games in his career, and now employed just the other side of the city from here with Sheffield United's women's team. Ball over on the far touchline with Sheffield Wednesday, taking a throw, which is headed on and then cleared. Flicked on round the corner by Palmer, and Elise stayed back goal side and let the ball run out of play, out for a throw which will be taken on the Sunderland left. And the game has gone through these little lulls, which I think is inevitable because of the heat and the strength sapping conditions, and we're just in one now. 10 minutes to go to half time. Sunderland chasing the game, but haven't really forced too many opportunities. Best effort from the man in possession now, Jack Diamond, with a shot across the face of goal. He's got the ball at his feet. He's got real confidence running at the Wednesday back line, and his turn was too good for Dom Iorfa, who's brought him down. Yeah, they all want to stay with him there, Iorfa, and he's quick, but he runs away from him there, Diamond. It's a great little check, little Cruyff turn the ball back, and he takes his feet from under him. This is not a bad position, to be fair. It's a good angle on it, whether they can get the delivery right. But it's good play by Sunderland. Yeah, it's right out on the left-hand touchline, and it's 6 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area. It's given Sunderland the opportunity to flood the box. It's a real crowd scene in the very central part of the penalty area, in and around the edge of the box, just near the D. The Wednesday keeping a high-ish line, about 14-16 yards from goal. 6-7 Wednesday defenders in a line, plenty of movement in there. Good defensive header came from George Byers to get it away. It was another disappointing set-piece delivery because it didn't really beat the first man. Wednesday clear to halfway, where Winchester gets it back for Sunderland. Ball forward, flicked on dangerously by Diamond, now leaning back in. The assistant referee puts his flag up for offside, not for any complaints of a penalty, as one of the Wednesday defenders was just backing in, and at least went to ground, but no foul. Here's a free kick for the offside, which Cam Dawson will take for Wednesday. They still lead it 1-0.
Yeah, that was a much better ball into the box, to be fair. It's touched on by Diamond, and then just dragged to the floor. It's a free kick. The ref got that spot on. Just going to Wednesday, Jim, I know they've gone unnoticed a little bit, but Patterson and Gregory, I think because of their experience and the physical presence, I mean, the ball's gone into Gregory now. I think he's trying to help it on towards Patterson, but the referee has seen an infringement, given a free kick to Sunderland. Yeah, I just think it's given them the edge, because they've been able to go into him. It's stuck. You know, they've been able to get the runners forward from midfield. They've played as a pair. They've used their experience, and I think it's been the difference, to be honest with you, between the two sides.
Well, Callum Patterson's certainly been round the block. How many League Cup ties do you think Callum Patterson has won in his career?
Well, it must be in the 20s, is it?
None. Remarkably, he's never won a single League Cup tie. Wow. Might break his duck tonight, with Wednesday leading at the moment, but Patterson with more than 350 career games behind him, and Lee Gregory only 10 or so behind that. 180 goals between them. You certainly know what it's all about, but it's a blistering strike from the midfield that has given Wednesday the lead tonight. Hume bring it forward for Sunderland. It's knocked away, and a good play by Gregory. That's excellent. He saw the ball drop over his shoulder, turned it back neatly away from Matete, feeds Patterson, out it goes wide. Bacchus will continue his run through the middle. He's been played in by Palmer. Bacchus gets the ball out from underneath his feet, but he had plenty of Sunderland players between him and goal. Had an errant urge to shoot, thought better of it. Byers will have a go, and might wish that he hadn't. He's put the ball out of play so far wide that it's gone over the dead ball line, level the left-hand edge of the penalty area. But a good Sheffield Wednesday move. All started with the excellent play of Lee Gregory on the left.
Yeah, and I just think as well, Jimmy, that encapsulated both sides, the difference between both sides. I look at Sheffield Wednesday, you know, from Gregory having that brilliant bit of play, it was all on one touch, it was all forward passing, it was all forward runners, and they got in and around Sunderland's box really quickly. And if you look at Sunderland, although they've really passed it well, they're neat and tidy on the ball, they've not really made enough inroads.
09 in the heart of the midfield for Sunderland, playing it down to the right for Winchester. Winchester back for Bailey Wright, and Wright works it out to the left for Adji Elise. Elise into the feet of Sono, who was immediately put under pressure by Liam Palmer. That's probably a battle, truth be told. Palmer's winning at the moment on that far touchline for Wednesday. This one, on this near side between Hume and Brown, are in the thick of the action now, has been a much more level contest. Hume down by the corner flag, has just lost this latest instalment of it. It's come off him last, and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday left with 5 minutes to go to half-time now.
Yeah, and that's the type of ball that's going to get Sunderland in. That diagonal pass, you know, just in behind the wing-back, down the side of the left side centre-back, and it's a greatly timed run from the wing-back for Sunderland. It's a good bit of play. Just need that strength to hold the ball, keep it there, have that little bit of play in the final third, try and get some more quality into the box. That's what they're short of.
Hume's got the ball in his hands, right in front of the fourth official, and he takes the throw back for Bailey Wright, right to Elise on the left of the three Sunderland centre halves. Man who made a couple of appearances for West Ham and came on for his debut for the last 3 minutes in the Black Cats win at Bristol City at the weekend, where Ellis Sims really caught the eye on his full debut for Sunderland, a player signed on loan from Everton. That was the form of Sims that has prevented Nathan Broadhead from making a return to Sunderland. He had been heavily linked with a move back to the club where he did so well on loan last season, but elected to go to Wigan instead. Ball comes down to the Wednesday left here, where Brown has been fouled, and it's a free kick that will be taken by Reece James. Another new face in this part of the world making his Wednesday debut tonight. A player who made nearly 3 dozen appearances for Sunderland, and once of Manchester United, Reece James. He'll take the free kick back inside his own half, and Hennigan gives it in back again. This time he'll play more constructive forward ball, and Matete fouls Patterson, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Wednesday just over halfway.
Yeah, it's a silly free kick to give away, because all it does is break play up at a time when Wednesday are in no rush. They're 1-0 up, they're in the ascendancy. A little bit of frustration there from Sunderland.
A little bit of action on the Sheffield Wednesday bench. I don't know whether that means that a change is imminent or not. Sunderland on the front foot here, able to bring it forward with Diamond. Diamond slipping it in. Roberts couldn't quite get himself into a shooting position. The pass from Diamond a wee bit heavy, and that allowed Wednesday the opportunity to come back and make a saving challenge on the edge of the box just as Roberts was preparing to pull the trigger. They got it back though, and Diamond with a right-footed shot on the turn wins a corner, which will be taken on the Sunderland right-hand side.
Yeah, great tenacity by Sunderland. They don't give the ball up, made it difficult. And obviously they get the regain on the edge of the box. It's forced a corner, but they're just gradually playing their way into this game, Sunderland. You know, they've had better moments in and around Wednesday's box. Just need to get better quality in from these set players.
So this is their second corner. The first one on the far touchline. This one's on the near side, which is their right. They've worked it short again to Roberts. Roberts angling it in towards the far post. 09 with a header back into the fray, but comfortably playing by Dawson. Hasn't put a foot wrong so far, although he's not had too many opportunities to shine, but caught that very neatly. And will just allow a little bit of time to come off the clock as he makes his way forward. There is going to be a change for Sheffield Wednesday, and it's going to be Silasso, who hasn't played since late March, who's going to come on. The Dutchman just being readied, and Gregory will come off. Well, that's a blow as far as Sheffield Wednesday are concerned. I don't know whether that is a problem that he's sustained in that wonderful piece of skill on this near side where he just ended up on the deck. He's walking off okay, but this isn't a night really the type of fixture where you risk the health of any of your big hitters. So Gregory off, and so is on.
Yeah, it seemed like he was stretching his calf a little there. Don't know if he's had a knock or if he just felt it slightly. But you're right, Jim, there's no point. May as well come off, not make it any worse.
So is on. 6 games without a goal for him since netting against Burton back in early February. And he's up top alongside Callum Patterson. Dawson bringing the ball well outside his penalty area, drives it forward right-footed. Patterson going up for it, just headed down by Hume. Hume clearing it towards halfway. Diamond again trying to make something happen, and he's done well. He's got the better of Hennigan there, is one possession back, and then works it out towards Sona on the left. Good first contribution for Wednesday from the substitute So, who came back and robbed 09. Patterson, So's continued his run forward. Backerson trying to spear it over the top for him, couldn't quite find him, but wins the seconds as Sunderland clear it. And then it's chipped down the left-hand side by James, but away from Patterson, and it's going to go over the line and out of play for a throw that Winchester will take for Sunderland, who still trail by a goal to nil.
Yeah, I mean, the game's sort of petering out a little bit towards half-time. It's, since that blistering goal from Adeniran, it's a fantastic strike, but since then we've not really had many efforts in and around goal from either side. I think Wednesday are comfortable in this performance. I think Sunderland are trying to make headway into it. Diamond's definitely a live wire up front, but I think Wednesday are managing the game quite well.
Well, we've gone into 3 minutes of stoppage time, although the 3 minutes won't start until Diamond has finished receiving treatment. He's actually been led away from the field. He's just picked up a little nick above his eye by the look of it. And he's just having that attended to on the edge of the technical area. So it is going to be Sunderland down to 10 men whilst he continues to receive treatment. They can stick some butterfly stitches in it over the half-time interval if necessary. They'll need to make sure that there's no blood visible for him to be able to come back on the field. We're back underway in 3 minutes of stoppage time, with Sheffield Wednesday still leading Sunderland by a goal to nil here on TalkSport 2. Jim Proudfoot and Neil Redfern talking you through the action in South Yorkshire's a lovely crossfield ball for Sunderland, and Hume is onto it. Hume playing it in. Roberts right hand side of the area, trying to check back, plays it back, right-footed effort over the bar. Really wasn't in keeping with the quality of the move. Good approach play, but a poor finish from Embleton, and the ball drifts into that vacant cop away to our right hand side.
Yeah, and again good approach play by Sunderland. Those two loose tens that playing just in behind Diamond, Embleton and Roberts linking up. It's a good cut back. He just needs to get his body over the ball and keep that shot down. Embleton leaning back as he strikes it, but a lot better from Sunderland.
His score in the playoff final last season, Elliot Embleton, one of 9 goals that he scored in Black Cats colours. It's their supporters away to our left hand side who are making good noise now. The Diamond has had the cut sorted out, but it's just going to have to change the shirt now. It's something we saw at Mansfield last night. I don't think I've ever seen it before, where a player comes on with a blood shirt and then 2 minutes later another player in the same team comes on with a blood shirt. You've got 2 players without a number on their shirt play for the same team. I don't ever remember seeing that.
That'll be a good quiz question if you could ever get it out there.
One of them was Rooney, but not that Rooney, Jake Rooney, who had a really good debut for Derby. He did catch the eye. And as we're seeing with Jack Diamond tonight, who is the latest man in a shirt without a number on, it's a good stage, this first round of this competition, for youngsters to really enhance their reputation. We've seen that with a few tonight. Sunderland trailing 1-0, but they've had more possession in the last few minutes, and they'll bring it forward again with Sona continuing his run. Elise is there as well, but it's going to be Diamond that will get there first, and he's just taken a tumble inside the penalty area. It's come off his chest and goes into the hoardings, and he gets booed for it, but I think he just fell over. No attempt to look at the referee and plead that he should have had a penalty. He's back to his feet, handshake with the defender involved, who was Hennigan, and raises the hand, and that is the last action of the first half. Sheffield Wednesday leading by a goal to nil. It's not a match that's necessarily exuded quality throughout. Been some good individual performances, but the goal that separates the sides, Neil Redfern, was a belter, and in some ways out of keeping with the rest of what we see. Second half of tonight's Carabao Cup tie first, though. The two sets of players out, no further changes. Wednesday lining up, Dawson in goal, Iorfa, Hennigan and James. Palmer, Byers back into Adeniran and Brown, and then So up top alongside Patterson. They are actually going to make another change, and it's at centre-half, Hennigan coming off, and Michael Ihikwe is coming on, player signed from Rotherham in the summer. He started both of the league games so far, so he's on. Ihikwe for Hennigan at the start of the second half. Sunderland Bass in goal, Winchester, Wright and Elise, Hume, O'Nien, Matete and Sona, Embleton and Roberts, and Diamond. 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, Adeniran's goal, and 16 minutes the difference between the two teams, and we're back underway for the second half. Wednesday blue and white striped shirts, black shorts, kicking towards the Kop here at Hillsborough, left to right as we look at it. Sunderland attacking the end of the ground that houses their 1,000 travelling supporters. The Leppings Lane end, the West Stand away to our left, and in possession our Sunderland straight away with Diamond, who's now got one of his own shirts back on again after wearing the blood shirt at the end of the half. But he's lost possession and so can bring it forward. The Dutchman playing it out to the Sheffield Wednesday left. Alongside me, Jim Proudfoot here in Hillsborough, it's Neil Redfern.
Yeah, I mean, this half's going to be interesting from Sunderland's point of view. They've got to try and find a way to get back in it. The finishing hasn't really been of a good standard.
Good play by Adeniran, working the ball inside the penalty area. Patterson went down under a challenge, no claims for a penalty from him. But Wednesday will come again with Palmer chipping it inside the penalty area. Wright can backpedal and head that one away, and then Adeniran is just caught by Matete. And this is a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday in a really good position. Good angle, good distance, right of centre, about 6 yards outside the penalty area.
This is probably where you need Barry Bannon.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you know, the different styles between the two teams. Very direct Wednesday, not reckless, you know, managed. It's good quality from back to front. They get bodies round it, they press it, and the free kicks come from it. And you look at Sunderland, they're trying to pass their way out at times. It's just that final third for them. Some of the approach play has been really good. They've connected passes, but that final third they've looked quite inept. They need to try and up the shot rate if they can and get some on target, preferably.
Well, they've got Sims that they can bring on if necessary. There's no Ross Stewart on the bench for Sunderland tonight, but Ellis Sims is there. I wonder how long it will be before we see him. Adeniran's back on his feet, incidentally, having received a little bit of treatment after being caught there by Matete. There was no malice in the challenge from him. It was just mistimed, oblivious to the presence of the Sheffield Wednesday goal scorer, but it is a free kick in a really good position. They haven't brought Bannon on, special teams, to come off the bench and take this free kick. The referee has front marched the wall back. Sunderland 4-strong wall is now back 10 yards from the ball. It's going to be George Byers, I wonder, with his right foot from this. And the angle is such that it's a difficult one for Alex Bass to judge whether it's going to be a shot with the right or a shot with the left that he's facing. Wall bobbing up and down. Opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday here to double their advantage. It is Byers and it's over the bar.
Yeah, it says that's the skill, to be able to get the ball up and down quickly. And he's leaning back there, Byers, as he strikes the ball, and it's never going to trouble Alex Bass. But it's a decent position, you know, and it's an opportunity to hit the target. And the one thing that has been missing in this game is the quality in and around the box and in the final third.
Couple of quick goals at the beginning of the second half at Ewood Park, where Blackburn now lead Hartlepool by 3 goals to nil. Bradley Dack and Tyrese Dolan scoring a couple of early ones there in the second half for Gundar Thomason's Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn 3, Hartlepool 0. Here it's 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Sunderland in possession, bringing it out from the back with O'Nien to Elise. Elise playing it forward through the midfielder Embleton. Back it goes for Bailey Wright, and then right down towards the left hand side again for Roberts. Roberts has lost it though. Ball through the midfield that wasn't quite accurate enough. Backinson almost able to win it back. It's a comedy of errors as both sides continue to give it away, but Adeniran can calmly stick his foot on the ball and play in Palmer, and Wednesday will be able to get cleaner possession deeper inside their own half.
Yeah, there's so many bodies in that central area, Jimmy. It's so difficult to play through there for either side. The switch of players on. Both wing backs are really high. Well, all four wing backs are really high for both teams. There's an option there to get the ball out to them, and I think they've got to do that both sides.
Elise to 09. Embleton. Sunderland bring it towards halfway with Matete, and now he will get it out towards the right for Carl Winchester, coming forward from centre half. Something that Sunderland haven't really been able to do, get those centre halves forward. It'll be whacked away by the Wednesday back line from Iorfa and straight out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the Sunderland right-hand side again. Blackburn leading Hartlepool by 3-0. Bristol City 3 up away to Coventry. Middlesbrough 0, Barnsley 0, Plymouth 0, Peterborough 1. Second goal for Rotherham, they scored right at the end of the first half through Chidozie Ogbeni, and they're 2 up at Port Vale. And it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Sunderland 0 here live on TalkSport 2. In the midfield, Embleton has possession for Sunderland. He wraps his right foot around it, drives it in. It's easily headed away by the Wednesday back line, but Brown's header wasn't the best, and Sunderland pick up the seconds towards the edge of the penalty area. Roberts twisting and turning, goes back out towards the right-hand side. Hume didn't fancy a cross with his weaker left foot. Embleton will recycle it and feed Roberts. Roberts with quick feet towards the edge of the penalty area is under pressure from So. Ball is swung in from that right-hand side. It's a low-driven ball from Hume. It's a delightful cross, but 2 Sunderland players are on the slide. Neither could get there to tap it in, and it remains 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, wow, 100% better from Sunderland. Great play around the box to keep the ball in and around the box. They've got a lot of technical players that are very similar, little quick, busy players that can manipulate the ball, and it's a fantastic cross right across the 6-yard box. And if I think back to the first half, that happened a couple of times as well for Sunderland. You've got to be able to get on the end of them. They're real opportunities. Those can't go begging. They're a chance to get back in the game.
There's a great delivery from Trey Hume, who arrived on Wearside from Linfield in Northern Ireland back in January. Hasn't had too many chances. Just his 4th game for the club tonight. Wednesday in possession with Liam Palmer. Oh, it was a lovely nutmeg, and the crowd appreciated that. Palmer taking it on a touch, slipping it through the legs of Sona, working it forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but So couldn't hold it up, and Atete's got it back to find Embleton. And Embleton able to take a couple of touches under duress, lays it back for Alex Bass, and the idea was right from Bass as he just tried to pass the ball along the deck down towards the left-hand side for Sona. But Alex Neil, his manager, as it goes out of play for a throw, indicates that perhaps a better pass would have been the slightly more conservative ball, the safer one to Elise, who then could have turned it forward for the Black Cats. Ball out of play for a Wednesday throw, midway inside the Sunderland half. Thrown forward by Palmer, who's a veteran of nearly 350 games for Sheffield Wednesday now, the Scottish international. And they get another opportunity, a second down on the right-hand side as they've just made a few yards from that first throw. Good turn by Adeniran, and he is pulled to the ground by Elliot Embleton, and a free kick about 8 yards outside the penalty area, but nearer the right-hand side of the box. Not a shooting position, this one.
Yeah, this has been a feature and a problem for Sunderland, giving away cheap free kicks in and around the box, and sooner or later they're going to get punished. That's a couple of challenges early on in this half now that's resulted in a free kick, but Byers on it again, see if he can get a better delivery in. It's a decent angle on it to curl it round the back of that Sunderland back line, but they've started much better this half, Sunderland. Bit more urgency, bit more purpose, but they've got to defend this free kick well now.
Line of spray shows Pat Roberts where to stand. 10 yards away from the ball. He's the only man in a wall. Everybody else marking around the edge of the penalty area, in the kind of area that Byers is going to tease this into. He's floated it very deep towards the far post, hoping for a header back down. Left-footed effort. Oh, it's a shot that was a rising drive. It's going to go over the bar from Reece James. Sunderland defenders weren't sure. Trey Hume threw himself at it and has ended up wearing it. It hasn't quite knocked him out, but he's on his back with his head in his hands and in a great degree of distress. Felt that one from here.
Yeah, I don't think he knew too much about that, Jimmy. I mean, it was a wild strike. I mean, I don't know if it was going to hit the target. It was so close. He took it flush in the face. To be fair to him, and he's still moving, so he's all right. But I definitely know about that. He's sat up now. It was a good opportunity, actually. It fell perfectly. I think it was Jaden Brown, that was coming in from left wing back. He just needs to get his body over the ball, get everything down, keep it down, hit the target. There's a bit of dew on the grass. Grass has been watered by the ground staff. Just might have took that past Alex Bass in goal, but didn't hit the target.
Well, he's okay. He's back on his feet. I have to just go through the concussion protocol when you've ended up getting hit by one as fiercely as that from close range, but he's fine, Trey Hume, and he's going to be able to continue. They've just got the stretcher ready as a precaution, but been waved away. So Hume's all right. He'll be back on the field in a moment. Play will restart with a drop ball, and Sunderland will play out from the back. Wednesday fans didn't appreciate that. Ball played forward over the head of Diamond. It's gobbled up easily by Dom Iorfa on the left of the three centre-halves for Sheffield Wednesday. Cleared by Wednesday through the midfield. Winchester, in stopping the ball going out of play, plays it back towards the edge of his own box for Wright, and then Bass with a pass out from the back that wasn't the best, and he couldn't find a leash. Adeniran working it in, right foot it, and it's swept into the net for 2-0. And it all came after a mistake at the back from Alex Bass, passing it out, and Silasau is in there, right-footed, the right place at the right time to drive it in after a great piece of play by Adeniran. What a night he's had, a goal and an assist now, and Wednesday leads Sunderland by 2-0.
Yeah, the quality of the ball in from Adeniran, wow. You know, he'd no right to hit that first time. He'd only just regained it. He took his touch past the defender, and he came onto him with such confidence, just whipped it round. He knew where he was, knew the run. It's a great ball in, and to be fair, it's a fantastic finish. Clean strike. Gave Alex Bass absolutely no chance. I mean, to be fair, the keeper's had no chance with either strike. And I suppose, again, it's come against the run of play, but I think this is going to be a goal too far for Sunderland, because I just don't see that sort of a comeback in him at 2-0 down.
Silasau's first goal in 7 appearances, but he hasn't played for the club since March. It's only his 5th goal for Sheffield Wednesday. It's given them a little bit of breathing space. The side 4th in League One against the Sunderland side, who in this the very young league season have had such a great start to life back in the Championship. The second highest team in the competition at the moment, finding themselves 2-0 down here at Hillsborough. The draw, incidentally, is after this game. And Sheffield Wednesday hold on. They will find out who their opponents are. We'll find out with them. With the draw being held live right here. Ball goes out towards the Sheffield Wednesday left-hand side. 2-0 up, hungry for more. Ball inside the penalty area. Adeniran with a shot, which is well blocked by Bailey Wright and cleared out towards the far touchline, but it's all Wednesday, and they're hoping to put the game to bed now. 2 up in a great position, but a third, it is good night.
Yeah, I mean, they've come to life again. Sheffield Wednesday, they're moving the ball quick, they're attacking the box, they're getting bodies in the box. I mean, that's a great block by Bailey Wright. No right to block that, but got his body in the way, brave. But it's all Wednesday. It's all Wednesday.
Adeniran. He's had a great night. Back to Iorfa. Iorfa down towards Liam Palmer, who will make his way forward. So trying to take the ball on the half turn and spin it wide for Byers. Byers driving it in right-footed, and it's well blocked, and will just go over the line and out of play. No, it's kept in, and brilliantly kept in as well by 09. Work forward now, but the offside flag is up against Diamond. Leeds had continued his run after the brilliant work from 09 to keep that in, but as Elise slipped it down the left-hand touchline, Diamond had made his run too early, and the free kick goes Sheffield Wednesday's way. They lead by 2-0.
Yeah, it's good defending by Hikwa, to be honest with you, because just as the ball was playing, and he doesn't need to go early, Diamond, because he's got the pace to get in behind. Could have held his run, but he just stepped up the defender, caught the striker offside.
Sunderland had the ball away with Winchester. It's brought down by 09 in the midfield. Looking for Diamond. Sliding challenge. Wins it. And it's really well done by James against his old club. Guides it back for Dawson. Now it comes from Iorfa. Iorfa to Adeniran. Back for Iorfa again. More of a route one ball forward from him that time. Coming back to meet it in the midfield is Sona. Sona losing out and trying to shepherd the ball out of play for a throw, which has been given Sunderland's way. Elise, and then Byers was in late and has fouled 09. It's a free kick which Sunderland will take 10-12 yards or so inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. Wednesday leading it by 2-0 after an hour. Now they're nearing on 16 and so on 56 for the Wednesday side, who lost to Huddersfield on penalties in the first round last season. Sunderland are going to have to go some to get this to penalties. They had a great run themselves. They reached only their second League Cup quarter-final in 20 years last season. It didn't go well for them at Arsenal, but it was a decent ride to get there. Ball over the top from the Wednesday back line. Palmer's over, hit back looking for Son. It goes through for Alex Bass. And Bass will be frustrated. We saw the one slight kicking error before the goal where he played. You could understand what he was trying to do, trying to work an adventurous pass down towards the touchline. It went out of play for a throw, but then he got it all wrong at the second time, and it led to the goal. It was the turnover of possession. Sunderland never got it back.
No, and it was at a time when Sunderland were just making their way back into the game, having little moments of the game. We had controlled possession, a couple of forays in and around the Wednesday penalty area as well, but that second goal's a real killer for him, because you look at the game in its entirety, where's a goal going to come from Sunderland?
Those are the thoughts of Neil Redfern, the Sheffield United women's manager. Ball play forward by Bailey Wright, headed down and then brought under control by Embleton. Now he goes towards the Sunderland right-hand side. Matete put under pressure by the retreating So, but he's heeded the cry of man on from the travelling Sunderland supporters and has maintained possession. Lays it back for Wright. Wright now forward towards Embleton. Harrison Sona on the left, a player signed from Aston Villa, just trying to find that little bit of space, but Sunderland haven't been able to find him. They've worked it the other way instead, out towards Hume. Hume has lost possession, and a long clearance down the Wednesday left-hand side is going to be chased valiantly by Patterson. Good pressure and a nice piece of goalkeeping that time from Bask. It was a real aerial back pass. It was actually going wide, would have gone out of play for a corner, wouldn't have been an own goal, but he's had to come across, jump up high, and even then he's controlled it pretty much with his chin. He brought it down a little bit lower than that, but it's a really good piece of goalkeeping from Alex Bass when he couldn't handle it because it was a back pass, and Sunderland have been able to play their way out from the back. But they trail by 2-0, and they've got half an hour or so to get themselves back into this game. Ball tees for 09 in a slightly more advanced role now. Sona back for 09 to Harrison Sona again, left-footed ball in. The idea was right, but he just put a little bit too much curl on it, and it sails out of play for a goal kick that Cam Dawson will take, with Sheffield Wednesday leading Sunderland by 2-0.
Yeah, and they've deserved to be in front, to be honest with you, just for the fact that they've had more of a cutting edge in and around the final third. And I feel a little bit for Sunderland. They have been out-muscled at times. They played some lovely football. They've got in and around that Sheffield Wednesday penalty area, but they do lack quality and they do lack a cutting edge.
Goal back for Coventry at home to Bristol City through Jamie Allen, but still 3-1 to Nigel Pearson's men there. Wednesday, hungry for more, had possession with So, good ball forward from him down the left-hand side for Brown, faced up by Winchester, Northern Ireland international. He's just laid it back, but Matete has been able to cut out the pass which came forward, and Sunderland then in bringing it forward and giving Diamond something to chase. And he's drawn Iorfa out of position. He's taken it out towards the right-hand touchline. Good movement coming in the centre. It's flashed inside the area. It's brilliantly defended by Ihikwe, who had to make sure that he stayed goal side as the ball came in right-footed, and he's somehow stuck out one of those long legs and been able to steer it away for a corner. It's really well done.
Yeah, brilliant by Diamond initially. He's never going to win that foot race, Iorfa. He gets a great ball in, and it's fantastic defending by Ihikwe, because, to be honest with you, if he misses that, there's a red and white shirt just at the back of him who would have been tapping that in the back of the net. That's probably the most menacing Sunderland have looked this half.
So Sunderland's first corner of this second half, straight into the hands of Dawson. Took it under duress, but it was a a very routine take anyway. And they'll just waste a few seconds and wait for people to push upfield before releasing the ball and finding Ihikwe. Ihikwe and Smith did really well at Rotherham last season. It would appear to be fantastic acquisitions for Wednesday.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you know, and the thing is that they've got that competitive, you know, spirit that seems to run through Paul's warm side at Rotherham. You know, he's got him at it. I think they'll do well this time round. You know, I think that it's always been tough for them once they've got promoted. They find it difficult, but I've just got a feeling that they'll find the feet this time round.
Atkinson for Sheffield Wednesday. Played down towards the right for Adeniran, who's ended up being caught by Luke O'Nien. No foul, but he stayed down, hasn't moved, a little bit ominously. It's up to the referee to stop the game and not Sunderland. The Wednesday fans boos, indicating that they feel the game should be stopped. It can stop now because of a free kick that's been given the other way for a foul on O'Nien. Now the referee will trot back some 60 yards towards the Kop to see whether Dennis Adeniran is okay and whether he's going to need any treatment or not.
You see those sort of instances, Jim, you know, they worry me a little bit, because you see 2 or 3 Wednesday players there going into challenges. There were a little bit of malice in, you know, just for the fact that the ref hadn't pulled it up. Look, he's fine, he's up on his feet and he's jogging back, but that could have been quite serious, and obviously his teammates thought the same. You know, I think the sensible approach would have been to pull it up, just let the physios come on and have a look.
He's alright though. He's been in the wars, Adeniran, but he's made a real impression. He's going to be high on the ballot list for the man of the match.
Well, if you were Darren Moore looking in now, he's got more of an headache, if you like, than Alex Neil, I would say, with players' performances.
Yeah, they got Charlton to come here at the weekend, and it'd be interesting whether the likes of Adeniran get taken off, so that perhaps they are rested for that game coming up. I mean, Adeniran wasn't even on the bench at the weekend for Wednesday's 1-0 win at MK Dons, which was their first win of the season. They'd begun the campaign with a 3-3 draw against Portsmouth here at Hillsborough. But Adeniran has certainly given Darren something to think about. Sunderland have possession inside their own half. They've had the majority of possession tonight, that really haven't done enough with it. Bailey Wright finding Adji Elise. Elise with the ball forward into the feet of the lively Diamond. Elise continuing his run, but wasn't played in. Sunderland had a player down for a moment as Wednesday will try and break quickly, but it was a poor pass that Adeniran couldn't make anything of from So, and then Backinson has caught his man, and that might be a yellow card. I think it's going to be. First yellow card shown to a Sheffield Wednesday player tonight. Carl Winchester booked early on for Sunderland, and Backinson is now going to join him in the book.
Yeah, that was a nice easy one for the referee. Very, very late from Backinson. As soon as you're committed to that sliding challenge, you can't pull out. It's an easy one for the referee. I just think Wednesday, though, when they pick the ball up, definitely in regains, you know, they look to play forward quickly. And it's almost like that basketball pass, if you like, before you get round the ring and then you start to play the hoop. You know, it's a forward pass quick, you know, and people get themselves support quickly. And I think they've done that really, really well tonight. And I think that's been missing from from Sunderland's game.
Sunderland take the free kick. Backinson in the book. Sunderland work it to right, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Let me remind you, there's a big TalkSport breakfast being served up for you tomorrow morning over on TalkSport. Alan Brazil's back with Ali McCoist, and Villa legend Gabby Agbonlahor joins the show from 8 o'clock as well. Guys are going to be joined by Watford captain Tom Cleverley at 9. Hornets have made an unbeaten start to life back in the Championship. They've got Burnley Friday night, incidentally, and we'll bring you that one live on TalkSport 2 Friday, 8 o'clock kickoff at Vicarage Road. Wednesday working the ball in here towards Patterson, and Elise can head it away. Sona will do the rest, taking a touch and then whacking it upfield. Easy though for Iorfa, with a white sweatband around his left wrist, able to play the ball down towards Palmer. Swinging it in, right-footed inside the box, and Wright's there to knock that away. The Australian international can Not get the ball forward towards halfway, but Sunderland won the seconds with O'Nien, who was a little bit frustrated he didn't make more of it, and then Embleton's touch gets away from him, and George Byers will be able to win it back, and Wednesday can turn back in some very neat and tidy, and it's a great ball over the top as well, but it's not quite going to find So. Mass saw it coming and was quickly off his line from a good starting position anyway to be able to pick it up right on the edge of the penalty area, but a nice ball from Backinson.
Yeah, again, on regains, as soon as you regain the ball, they're looking to play forward. It's a great ball, to be fair, from Backinson, and it just skids off the turf, and the strikers are looking for it. If the strikers know the ball's going to go in, they'll run.
And Bailey Wright is giving it away, and then Backinson can't find So again. And that was a much simpler chance to be able to play him in, and Wright is really relieved. He had one of those horrible, I hope the ground swallows me up moments, because he gave it away and he stopped and he put his hands in front of his face just for half a second and then realised that he possibly was still in a position to be able to do something about it. But it was just the instant, oh, what have I done? But he got away with it, and it remains only 2-0, 20 minutes to go. Sunderland have got it, and it's back with Wright again. And he's driven it to his left for Elise. Elise will be able to bring it forward into the feet of O'Nien and quickly back for Matete. Embleton now. Embleton down towards the Sunderland left for Harrison Sona. Sona laying it back for O'Nien. O'Nien to Embleton. Back out towards Sona. The left wing back under pressure from Palmer. O'Nien's worked it into the feet of Roberts, who hasn't been able to make the impact tonight that he had on his last visit to Hillsborough 3 months ago. Backinson wins it back from Roberts, who cuts a dejected figure, and Wednesday are going to be able to bring it forward. Incidentally, talking about breakfast tomorrow, legendary manager Neil Warnock's going to be taking a look at the big talking points ahead of the second Premier League weekend of the season. And that's all part of TalkSport breakfast tomorrow from 6 a.m. You can listen on DAB, the TalkSport app, or watch the action on the TalkSport Edge. Wednesday going to make another change, and it's going to be Cook who will be coming on. Luke Cook in place of Patterson. So Cook for Patterson, the third Wednesday change.
Yeah, I think it's been good value, Patterson. I thought him and Gregory first half used their experience really well. They secured the ball for Wednesday, allowed runners to get up and beyond them, made a big difference in the first half. And second half he's probably played a lone furrow, if you like, up front. He's chased things down, he's caused problems. Other than score a goal, he's had a good night.
The official team sheet at Hillsborough tonight, incidentally, had to be destroyed and then reprinted because of an unfortunate typographical error involving Lewis Cook's name. But they got it sorted before too many people saw it, and he's on for the last 20 minutes or so.
You just got to use your imagination there.
Yeah, something like that. You watch Cats do Countdown.
I do.
Then you're there. But you just think of a four-letter word that
rhymes.
Yeah, and you're all right. Anyway, the ball played forward, headed down, and brought under control by Cook, who's done really well, actually. It's unlucky that it's ricocheted off, and the crowd appreciating that, though. Now it goes out of play. He's another youngster that is largely unheralded outside of Sheffield, but a player that is very highly regarded with a big future ahead of him.
Just looking at Alex Neil now, talking in the technical area with his staff. He's maybe thinking, what he can get out of this last 20 minutes. With his side 2-0 down. They've actually played some good stuff. They've actually moved the ball around really well at times, but the difference in experience and quality from Sheffield Wednesday has really shone through.
Sunderland in possession, trailing by 2-0, and they haven't really been able to work Cam Dawson all night. Think back to that one effort from Diamond in the first half that flashed across the face of goal, but he hasn't had a save to make. Might have to do something now, though. It was a good block from Ahikwe that made sure the danger stayed 15 yards ahead of Dawson. And Wednesday will be able to get it out from the back again with Byers, and then work it quickly down the left-hand side, turning the Sunderland back line, and Wright tells his goalkeeper Bass to come out and field it, which he does, and then just releases the ball before he carries it outside the penalty area, just bowls it out and makes sure that Sunderland can get going again. And if they were to pull one back with 16 minutes to go, then it would set up a grandstand finale, but at the moment it just feels as though it has slipped away from them somewhat, and that maybe they've got the battle at home to Queen's Park Rangers at the weekend on their minds. After that they go to Sheffield United, live on TalkSport 2 next Wednesday. Be a very different Sunderland 11 that night, and Stoke away, Norwich at home. That's how Sunderland's season starts, but at the moment they're going to be going into that game at the weekend on the back of their first defeat in 19 games in all competitions, which is a run that stretches back 6 months almost to the day. Work to do. Dawson for Wednesday. Good value overall for the 2-0 scoreline. Byers. Now play forward again. An opportunity for Brown to motor forward down that left-hand side. Backinson takes over. Back out towards Brown again. Byers into the feet of Backinson, the one Sheffield Wednesday player who has been booked. Back from him to a Hickway. Hickway through the middle. Draw coming up for the second round, where the Premier League sides who aren't involved in European competition enter the fray, and that's after this game. And you'll hear it here on TalkSport 2 and over on TalkSport as well. And Wednesday with another opportunity to score a third, have a free kick, which is given away by Adji Elise on the near touchline.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there from Elise. Got tight to his man really, really well. But again, Adeniran twisted and turning, working his man, and he gives a free kick away, and it's in a good position for Sheffield Wednesday. You know, I think this would be unkind on Sunderland if it goes to 3, because I don't think there's 3 goals difference in the side.
Byers is the man taking control of the situation again. It's going to be another away swinger, but probably with pace and loft in towards the 6-footers who've congregated in the back post area here, hoping to be able to attack something. No chance for Bass to be able to come out and field that, but at 10-12 yards from goal it was headed by Backinson back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Bass could then come out and claim that easily. And he bowls it out for Elise, and Elise will play it forward towards Sona. Haven't seen a single Sunderland change as yet. Sheffield Wednesday have been much more proactive in terms of the changes that they've made. One at half-time. They've got an opportunity to make another 2 changes if they want. It would have to be a double change, but they can rotate the pack further yet. Sunderland still keeping their powder dry in terms of the personnel. As Embleton has the ball for the Black Cats, works it down towards Elise. We've got 13 minutes to go. Run through all the scores for you in the EFL Cup in a moment. Suffice to say that there's been no change. Backinson to his right hand side for Adeniran. Scored the first and set up the second for Silasar. Wasn't the best ball towards Palmer. Almost a hospital pass, but he used his experience just to turn out of the way and make sure that any contact wasn't going to hurt him. Sona slides in and puts it out of play for a throw. This is how it's looking elsewhere. Blackburn 4, Hartlepool 0, the 4th score by Dylan Makande. Bristol City 3-1 up against Coventry. Middlesbrough against Barnsley, heading for penalties as things stand at the moment. It's the only tie that is 0-0 on Teesside. Plymouth 0, Peterborough 1, Port Vale 0, Rotherham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Sunderland 0. And the Super Cup in Helsinki still. Real Madrid lead Eintracht Frankfurt with that first half goal from David Alaba. Bass clearing his lines here for Sunderland, who are 2 down. Wednesday work it down the left. Might be able to get away from Winchester, who went slightly over the top of the ball in getting that away, but he did win it cleanly. There was no contact with his opponent. Wednesday with Iorfa, just settling things down again on the right hand side. Now it goes back for Liam Palmer. Palmer with a long ball over the top, trying to turn the Sunderland back line. That's a pass they're increasingly reliant on now, trying to get Cook in between the centre halves, but they couldn't get it right, and it's gone through for Sunderland to build from the back again.
Yeah, I think that straight ball's always difficult, particularly on a slick surface on an evening game. You know, you've got to be spot on with it, but I think Wednesday are really managing these moments, these final moments of the game really well. They've got a good shape. They're nice and composed in that shape. They're not panicking. They're just keeping sliding across. engaging with the red and white shirts in front of them, and they're making it difficult for Sunderland.
There's a little bit more action on the bench, and I think we're going to see Michael Spellman come on, one of the Sunderland youngsters. He'll be introduced in a moment, and Wednesday's double change is imminent as well. I hit a long diagonal ball down towards the left-hand side of the area. Bass tried to control that with his left hand and didn't. And then just for a moment it looked as though it might run towards the dead ball line. A guy had to play for a corner. He did stop it before there was any undue alarm. He's conceded twice on his Sunderland debut tonight. In the Super Cup, incidentally, second for Real Madrid, and Karim Benzema has scored it. They lead Eintracht by 2-0.
No surprise there, then, eh?
What, that Real Madrid are going to win something?
Yeah, no, Benzema.
Yeah. 63 and still banging them in. Pat Roberts brought down. George Byers leaning into him. And Roberts staying down there, just took a sore one, as if he's been winded. And that will allow these substitutions to be made. So the first one is a Sunderland change. Embleton coming off, and Spellman, who is a striker by trade, is going to come on. So it'll be interesting to see whether he will go up front and Diamond might play in a slightly more withdrawn role. Wednesday going to make a double change as well. I think Johnson is going to be the first of their substitutes who's going to be introduced here.
Yeah, nice round of applause. Played well, to be fair. Had a good night. Reece James, is it? No, it's not.
Well, it was James who came over. It wasn't James's number that came up. They put the number 6 up, and now they've changed it to the number 8. James, who's wearing 33, has got his hands out to say, well, am I coming off or not? It is going to be a double change, and I think he will be coming off in a moment. Well, it's Ademira who is the first man to be replaced, and he rightfully gets a big ovation. Many Wednesday fans getting to their feet to applaud. Probably the man of the match. It's a stunning goal, a platform for what has transpired to be a relatively routine Sheffield Wednesday victory by the look of it, but still time to go. Johnson on, and Alex Hunt is on as well. Player loaded Grimsby and Oldham last season, his last Owls appearance back in April 2021, the back end of the season before last. So he gets a run out, and Johnson gets a run out as well. So Wednesday made all their changes now. 8 minutes to go. Wednesday 2, Sunderland 0. Free kick taken by the Black Cats, swung inside the penalty area but easily headed away. Cook unable to bring it under clean control, and Sunderland get it back over on the far touch though. It's just a little clip of the ankles there on 09, and he's got a free kick.
Yeah, here's a chance, because a little bit of a clumsy challenge, to be fair, and 09 did well to regain it, and this has a really good angle on it to the right and far right hand side of as Sunderland are attacking. They can get a good ball in here, make a game of it for the last 10 minutes.
On their last trip to Hillsborough, they scored a very, very late dramatic goal in stoppage time. Now, can they set up a frantic finale here? It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery into a very heavily populated penalty area. The youngster Spellman jockeying for position, trying to get a little bit of space and a run away from So. Ball swung in far too heavy. And it's just beaten everybody. 16 forward to attack it and defend it, and none of them need a bother.
Yeah, again, sadly for Sunderland, you've got to pick up that problem they've had all the game, is a lack of quality. You know, it's a great chance, it's a great opportunity to put a good ball in, but you've got to give the people attacking it a realistic chance, and it's way too high, it's way too long, and it just sails out the back of the goal. So Sheffield Wednesday goal kick.
But only after another Sunderland change. We've seen one of the youngsters come off the bench. Michael Spellman's now going to be joined by Caden Kelly, who will replace Pat Roberts. So Roberts off, and Kelly comes on, a teenage midfielder, joining the fray.
Is it me or do they look smaller that are coming on? They're getting smaller and smaller here, Sunderland.
When you're my size, they all look big, even from here. But yeah, I know what you mean. Here's Iorfa. And playing forward towards Byers. It looks as though he'd lost it for a moment for Sheffield Wednesday, but he got it back as soon as it looked as though it had just drifted away from him. Matete clipped very cleverly round the corner there from Spellman, and he'll give chase, but it's knocked away from him. And Dawson is able to clear his lines and get it over halfway, and then Bailey Wright had literally lifted so off his feet there, but ball has bypassed everybody and gone out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sunderland left by Adji Elise. Tennis tonight, just a shade under 8,500. Maybe a little bit of a disappointing crowd, I guess. But Sheffield Wednesday got a home game in the league coming up. Sunderland travelling supporters probably would have prioritised the trip to Bristol City at the weekend rather than this one. Well, they have still come down in decent number from Wearside, probably about 700-800 or so. Wednesday in possession. Dawson playing out from the back and then getting it straight back again. And Cam Dawson dressed all in light green, driving it forward. And Adji Elise with a pull of the shirt and a lift of so has given a free kick away. Ironic cheers for the referee giving this one, having not given the last one, but another chance for Wednesday to kill a few seconds off the game here.
Yeah, I think so. He's another one that's done himself no harm tonight. He's scored a good goal. He's looked quite lively up front since he's come on. Brought people into the game, made some good runs.
Goal back for Port Vale. At home to Rotherham, Malvin Benning has scored that one, so Vale 1, Rotherham 2. Still 0-0 and heading for penalties at Middlesbrough. This one is not heading for spot kicks, you would think. 2-0 Sheffield Wednesday lead it. Clearance towards halfway from Sunderland goalkeeper Alex Bass. Played forward, it's going to be chased after by Spellman, but he's not going to be able to get there before it's just nudged past him. He's got good industry. Ball is cleared down the left and then brought back under control very quickly over on that Sunderland right-hand side by Hume, but he instantly loses it and gives a free kick away with Matete coming in on the scene. I think it was his indiscretion actually that the referee has punished. Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday over on the left. And just in terms of the lineup, incidentally, for Sunderland, they've kept Diamond going through the middle, and Spellman is playing to one of the number 10s, the left hand of the two attacking midfielders, really in behind them.
Yeah. Again, 09 slightly to the right, trying to support, but you know, I think a real feature of this game and all is just the challenges and how Sheffield Wednesday have dominated in that area.
And so, with great physical attributes, wins it back near the edge of the penalty area and couldn't get the ball out from underneath his feet to get a shot in. And Sunderland have won it back, but that was another nervy moment for the Black Cats. It's not been a vintage night for them. And notwithstanding the fact they've made 11 changes, they've got a goal kick here which Alex Bass will take, but they're only 3 minutes away from elimination here from the League Cup at the first hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, from Alex Neil's point of view, we'll be looking at some of these players here tonight, and you know, there's been some half-decent performances, but realistically I'm not sure they're going to threaten the lads that have got the shirts at this moment in time, so you know, he's probably learnt less than he wanted to, really.
Here's one of the youngsters, Caden Kelly, trying to slip it into Spellman. The ball ricochets out of play off the Sunderland man for a Wednesday throw, which will be taken on the right. Blackburn are through. They've beaten Hartlepool by 4-0. No other full-time whistles as yet, but it's Bristol City, Peterborough, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday that are winning their respective ties. And Middlesbrough Barnsley in the third minute of stoppage time is still 0-0 and heading for penalties. If it does go to penalties, you'll hear that shootout live right here. Ball goes forward over on the left-hand side for Sunderland, and it's clear. It might not go to penalties, I understand. I think Barnsley have just scored. Middlesbrough 0, Barnsley 1. And Borough's poor start of the season continues. One of your old clubs, Barnsley, they're in the nick of time by the look of it.
Yeah, if it stays like that, there's a couple of good results they've had. That'll be back-to-back wins for the Tykes.
Bus just trundles down the A61 outside the ground, lights on, piercing the gloom here. Darkness has long since fallen. Long ball over the top from the figure of Harrison Sona out towards the far touchline for Sunderland, but 09 can't control it. Just a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there between Hume and Brown, who've been at it on and off since about the 10-minute mark. Wednesday in no hurry to take a throw, so 09 acts as ball boy, goes up, picks the ball up from behind the touchline and drops it at the feet of Brown. It hits Brown and then goes back to exactly where it was to start with. So in doing that, Luke 09 has seen more seconds come off the clock. Yeah. We're in the 90th minute now.
I think it's just frustration, and you know, they've been comfortably beaten tonight, to be honest with you, Sunderland. You know, they played the part in a good game of football, but never really looked like threatening to win this game.
Well, the two previous League Cup meetings between these two clubs have both ended in Sheffield Wednesday victories, and this one is going to as well. 30 seconds plus stoppage time remain, and Wednesday are 2 goals to the good. They've been ahead since just past the quarter-hour mark when Dennis Adeniran scored that stunning goal. He then set up the second early in the second half for Silaso to tap in. Sunderland in possession over on the right-hand touchline. Fourth official Thomas Kirk about to show us how many extra minutes are going to be added. I think both sides, bearing in mind the strength tapping conditions, will be hoping it's not very many. 4. Nobody's happy about that. Spellman getting it back from Kelly. Sunderland with Matete. Matete towards the edge of the penalty area. Beats one challenge, beats the second. Couldn't beat the third. Hickway did well. Kept his eye on the ball and not the jigging frame of Matete, who then does well to come back and win it back from So. In the centre circle, Matete will just flick it off to his right-hand side, and it's going to be worked forward again by Winchester. Sunderland, remember, back in Sheffield next Wednesday night. It's live for you on TalkSport 2 at Bramall Lane. Great pace being shown here down the Sheffield Wednesday left. Bass was off his line, and the opportunity to try and chip him resulted in a complete miscue there. The idea was right from Cook, and Bass eventually is going to be able to stick his hand on the ball. It was Johnson, I beg your pardon, who made his way forward. A great pace that he showed. Winchester, it looked as though he was towing the proverbial, as though Johnson just haired past him, but the angle was completely prohibitive. Even though Bass was off his line, there's no way he's going to be able to drive it over him from there.
That's the last thing he wanted, isn't it? Somebody that quick in the 89th minute.
Wednesday gathered away again from the back with Iorfa, and straight out of play for a throw. Mentioned it's going to be Sunderland's first defeat in 19 games in all competitions. Their first on the road in 10. It's going to extend Wednesday's decent run to 8 home wins in 11 in all competitions, and they'll only have lost 2 of the last 16. The away leg in Sunderland in the playoff semi-final, and a game away to Wickham near the end of last season, but that's been it. I mean, 2 away defeats in 16 is decent, and you can understand why Darren Moore's side are the favourites to win League One. 4 points in the 2 games that they've picked up so far. They've got plenty of competition, and League One is dastardly to try and get out of. The likes of Ipswich and Derby in there as well to make life difficult, and Bolton as well. Wickham will certainly have a say. There'll be plenty of clubs will fancy their chances of being able to have a good crack at winning the League One title, but Sheffield Wednesday chief among them, you would think, as they try and get back at the second attempt into the Championship. They're not too far away from the second round of the League Cup. Here's Luke 09 for Sunderland. Ball worked inside the penalty area. Hickway's been excellent in quite an understated way since coming on at half-time, but he's hardly put a foot wrong.
Yeah, I think they've defended in general really, really well, Sheffield Wednesday. They've picked up them key positions, crosses across the near, crosses at the far post. They've got the first header, first contact. Again here, in and around the box, bodies in the way. You know, it's good. It's a good rearguard action.
Kelly can't get himself into a decent position to get a shot in, but Spellman wins a free kick. Liam Palmer trying to bring the ball forward. He's told not to waste any time and to restore it for Sunderland. It's taken quickly by Spellman to find Kelly. Number 33 to number 34, Winchester. And towards the Sunderland right, and then given away straight to Silasau, and any thoughts of a Sunderland consolation have probably fizzled out with that. Wednesday work it forward again through the midfield. Lost possession, and Sunderland get it back with Spellman. Spellman slipping it off to his right hand side. Sona with a more attacking brief now as they chase the game. Wednesday winning back with the experienced Liam Palmer, and Palmer will just get it upfield out of harm's way towards halfway, and although it is going to come back again, at least it's going to come back from 60 yards further upfield from a Wednesday perspective. Jamie Teddy for Sunderland. 2-0 down in the very last knockings here in the Steel City, and that will be that. Well, you can't really say it's revenge for the playoff semi-final elimination, but it's certainly a night that will make Sheffield Wednesday feel very happy about the start they've had to this season. A much changed side fielded by them, and they've won it comfortably. Adeniran, and so with the goals. Adeniran's a real belter, and Sunderland a division above them, but making 11 changes tonight, unable to cope. There were times when it was a level contest, and although Sunderland had the majority of possession, it was Wednesday that had the cutting edge, and they deservedly have gone through to the second round draw. Neil Redfern.